This is a list of notable Pacific hurricanes, subdivided by reason for notability. Notability means that it has met some criterion, or achieved some statistic, or is part of a top 10 for some superlative. It includes lists and rankings of Pacific hurricanes by different characteristics and impacts. Characteristics include extremes of location, such as the northernmost or most equator-ward formation or position of a tropical cyclone. Other characteristics include its central pressure, wind speed, category on the Saffir-Simpson Hurricane Scale, cyclogenesis outside of a normal hurricane season's timeframe, or storms that remain unnamed despite forming after tropical cyclone naming began in 1960. Another characteristic is how long a system went from formation to dissipation. Impacts are what the cyclone did. These include the cost of damage, the number of casualties, as well as meteorological statistics such as rainfall point maxima. Additionally, Adolph and Israel were removed from the list of names during and after the 2001 season due to political sensitivities. Not was removed from the list in 1988 for unknown reasons. Adil, Iva, and FIFA were also removed in 1970, 1988, and 1991 respectively for unknown reasons. Hazel was replaced in 1965. The name ISIS was also preemptively removed from the lists of names for 2016 after being deemed inappropriate because of the eponymous militant group in 2015. The following tropical cyclones have caused at least 100 deaths. The following tropical cyclones have caused at least $750 million in damage. In the Central Pacific Hurricane Center's area of responsibility, the season with the most tropical cyclones is the 2015 season with 16 cyclones forming in or entering the region. A season without cyclones has happened a few times since 1966. Most recently in 1979. Before 1971 and especially 1966, data in this basin is extremely unreliable. The geostationary satellite era began in 1966, and that year is often considered the first year of reliable tropical records. Intensity estimates are most reliable starting in the 1971 season. A few years later, the Dvorak technique came into use. Those two factors make intensity estimates more reliable starting in that year. For these reasons, seasons prior to 1971 are not included. Naming of tropical cyclones in the East and North Pacific began in the 1960 season. That year, 4 lists of names were created. The plan was to proceed in a manner similar to that of the Western Pacific, that is, the name of the first storm in one season would be the next unused one from the same list, and when the bottom of one list was reached the next list was started. This scheme was abandoned in 1965 and next year, the list started being recycled on a 4-year rotation, starting with the A name each year. That same general scheme remains in use today, although the names and lists are different. On average, the East and North Pacific sees about 16 named storms per year. Before 1971 and especially 1966, data in this basin is extremely unreliable. The geostationary satellite era began in 1966, and that year is often considered the first year of reliable tropical records. Intensity estimates are more reliable starting in the 1971 season. A few years later, the Dvorak technique came into use. Those two make intensity estimates more reliable starting in that year. For these reasons, seasons before 1971 are not included in the lowest column. The Pacific hurricane season runs from May 15 to November 30. Only systems that develop or enter during the off-season are included. The earliest off-season storm is Polly in 2016, whilst the latest off-season storm was 9C during 2015. Tropical cyclones have received official names in the East Central Pacific region since 1960. Since this time, 5 systems that have formed in this area have not received a name, plus another possible unnamed subtropical or tropical system in 2006. Since 1959, Only 15 Pacific hurricanes are known to have reached Category 5, and none made landfall, while at this intensity,